But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Vaporize your cold with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors. Whoa. NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing, nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ever wonder what it would be like to be mentored by today's top business leaders? I'm Dan Roth, LinkedIn's editor-in-chief. On my podcast, This Is Working, leaders share strategies for success. I talked to Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, about how to stand out as a leader.
Develop your EQ. A lot of people have plenty of brains, but EQ is, do you trust me? Do I communicate well? Develop the team, develop the people, create a system of trust, and it works over time.
Open your free iHeartRadio app, search This Is Working with Dan Roth, and start listening today.
8:16 at K-Fire. Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell after 9. Oderman Athletics. Senator Kevin Kramer. And playing Buck after 11 at K-Fire Cafe after 3. Daryl Lee's. Girls, WDA. Fox Sports 710 will hit the air at 2. Boys, 5:30 here on K-Fire today. Guns in the 701. Clay, how are you?
Pretty good. How we doing today, Todd?
Well, the caffeine's working, so I guess we're doing okay.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's always
I got a quick announcement, though, because it's kind of time-sensitive. Senate Bill 2137, also known as the baiting bill, is going to be taking place today, the committee hearing, at 8:30 Central Time up at the Catal AB building or room in the Capitol. So you still got time to get there, especially if you're in town, and go out there and support this bill to give us the freedom to hunt as we want. So just wanted to put that out there.
There we go. All right. What do you got coming up March 29th?
March 29th, hey, Guns of the 701, we're going to have a steel target challenge, and it features open sights, or iron sights as some call them. So no scopes, no red dots, no nothing. You're going to come out and you're going to shoot the big deer steel target out at Axis Range. It starts at 11 a.m. Central Time. You're going to get out there and have some fun with that. We're going to have a few prizes out there and some fun, and who knows, you stick around, you might even learn something afterwards. So anyway, come on out. You can get a hold of us. Just check out gunsin701.com or email us at guns@gunsin701.com, and we'll get you all the information.
I just point and click anyway. I don't need a scope. I'm good.
There you go. You need to be there, Todd. I think, you know what? If the weather holds, it might be even a nice day out there. It was kind of chilly at the last one.
If I can get this bracelet cut off, you bet.
Just tell her you're going.
Don't. She ain't the only one. Everybody wants to put a chain on me, but there you are. All right. This is very important. The future of your NRA.
Yeah, there's been some pretty big changes there. We've had a change in leadership with the new executive vice president, and that guy's actually in charge of the day-to-day operations. Yes, we have a president, which is Bob Barr, but they made some huge changes that I think are going to be good. I know some good board members that got on there. Greg Haggard, who I used to work with, he was also a senior field rep out of Indiana, and a ton of guys like that we kind of saw this coming. They've gotten on that board of directors. They're making some big changes. And what I really love is the transparency you're starting to see. They actually got rid of some of these committees that, they had a litigation, basically, kind of a committee out there because they had so many lawsuits going on. And then do a lot of them. Some of these were because of, the old leadership. They changed their mission statement, and they kind of come out and they said, hey, National Rifle Association is going to deliver for its members. They're going to be a national leader in the fight again to defend the Second Amendment, promote responsible gun ownership, public safety, and firearms training, and, of course, be dedicated to integrity, accountability, and transparency. And one of the things I see changing already is the fact that they are finally putting more resources back into, rather than fighting all these court cases that were unnecessary, they're putting it back into what they were founded on, and that was marksmanship and the actual shooting part of the NRA, the ranges, the education part of it, the matches, all the competitions. I mean, it's nice to see that they're focusing on that part as well as the political part. So that's kind of a big change, because if anyone who's ever called the range department, they know in the competitions department, they had one person in there. I saw their office, a little bitty tiny office with one person trying to field calls from all over the country. It was pretty tough to do that. So I'm glad to see that big change. They approved a new budget that's slimmed down. You know, maybe they have their own form of Doge. I don't know. Slimmed down. And seems like they're on the right track and probably going to spend our money how it should be done. So I'm glad to see that. By the way, no, they're not moving to Dallas. I don't remember when we talked about that, Todd?
Yeah. Well, I mean, everything's moving to Texas. It's a pretty safe assumption, but it's not always true, I guess, huh?
Right. It was a good idea maybe in theory, but it wouldn't have accomplished what they wanted. I think they were trying to get rid of the incorporation in New York, which is where NRA was founded, of all places. It's kind of interesting, the story there. But
well, just from taxes alone, you'd want to get out of New York in the first place.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But they've decided no, they're not going to do that. And I don't blame them. You know, the headquarters they have right there in Fairfax, Virginia, serves the purpose. It's a beautiful building, and they don't use every office. They bought it for pennies on the dollar when it was going through a bankruptcy, and NRA acquired that. You got to be close to the heart of the action in D.C., which Fairfax is, and I think it's a good move to stay there. I don't know what they're going to do. You know, they were looking at property, and I believe they even purchased it down in Texas, so I don't know if they sell it now or what they do with it. They probably make a little money just selling the property, which would probably be a good investment then after that. Take the money and put it towards resources in making their members happy. I'm glad to see all these new changes. I think it's going to be a great thing for the NRA, and they're really focused on membership again. They did lose some members, over all of the controversy with Mr. LaPierre, and they're going to come away from this stronger and more united, I think. And I just think it's a great move. I really do.
I like Virginia, except for one thing. They do property taxes on vehicles, for crying out loud.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Every year.
I mean, think about that. You don't own, just like our property, we don't own that in North Dakota because of property taxes. You don't even get to own your car free and clear in Virginia.
My old Escort with, 6 digits of mileage on, and I had to pay property tax on that thing.
Isn't that something?
That was crazy. By the way, in case you're not happy with the National Rifle Association, there's another organization you can join.
Guns are good. In fact, did you know that Jesus and Moses used guns to conquer the Romans? So remember, guns don't kill people. Dangerous minorities do. Warning, guns are extremely dangerous. Do not purchase, own, clean, operate, or be near guns at any time.
That's from the National Gun Association. Thank you, Family Guy. I know, any excuse to throw that one in. By the way, if you want to get mad about that, blame Family Guy. Blame Seth MacFarlane. Don't blame me.
If you can't have fun, why bother, right?
Well, that's the way I see it, but not everybody sees it the same way as we do, Clay. Some people just insist on going through life unhappy.
Yeah, we even had, I had a satire bit last night on the show. If you want, go check out last night's episode on iHeart, best place to find guns in the 701, because we did have a pretty cool satirical type bit on there.
Oh, now I got to check it out later on here. 823 K-Fire's Clay, Guns in the 701. I'm Todd Mitchell. NICS background checks drop in February, but demand stays strong.
Yeah, we try to give updates on this. They come out with their February numbers. They went down a little bit. They said it was a 9% decrease, but when you figure in all of the unadjusted figures on there, it's more like 4.3. That's from last year, February. Now, February is usually a slow month. It kind of picks up again. Imagine this, right after tax season or after you're doing your taxes, a lot of people get their rebates. Guess what else happens? They go buy guns, evidently, because you can watch them stats move up in March, April, and then into May. But, it's not a bad thing, because guess what? 67th consecutive month, though, over 1 million background checks. Now, that's a lot of guns moving through. I'm glad to see it. It means that we have a strong support for the Second Amendment and really an appetite, I guess, for lack of a better term, for people to buy firearms and exercise their Second Amendment. So we're really glad to see that. And you got to remember, a lot of states keep adding, just like North Dakota has a concealed weapons permit still. And that there's 2 types, and you can actually use the one for your background check, meaning you don't have to go through the NICS background check with the 4473 form. You're already covered under North Dakota's concealed permit that you have. That's not included in these numbers. So as more states do this, there's 24 states now, and it's almost half the states. That means those are not going into this number. So that might be showing why you have over 1 million firearms purchased, but the drop also in the NICS background check system because they don't have to run the check. And which states do you think are at the top there, Todd?
Don't tell me New York and stuff.
No, New York's not on there.
Okay,
Texas,
good.
number one.
I was going to say Texas, and then I thought, no, just to spite me, it's going to be New York. But
yeah,
should have gone with my gut, I guess. But there we are.
Texas, number one. Florida, number two. Here's an interesting. California, number three. So it tells you that more gun control does not equate to less guns because the people in California are obviously out there. And, big state, a lot of people. Pennsylvania comes in number 4 and Tennessee at number 5. So that's your top 5 states. We gotta ramp that up.
Is
here
Pennsylvania number 4? Is that because of Philly?
It could be.
Because of Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, as if it's been that in the last 100 years. But whatever.
Yeah, you'd think, right?
that's such an oxymoron.
Yes, it is, boy.
They can't possibly keep saying that with a straight face.
Oh,
brotherly love.
Isn't that amazing?
Here's a true story. When I was a kid, we were going through Philly. We got stuck in traffic. And it was like 99 degrees. So one of those rare times my dad's willing to have the air conditioning on in the car. And this dude bangs on the window. You got a cigarette?
Oh my
so
goodness. Yeah.
My dad just gives him the pack and his Zippo lighter, which was prized. So figuring, So 15 years later, I'm stuck in traffic, and I swear it's the same street and the same guy on the same step. And I'm like, oh no, do not, because I don't smoke. I don't come over here. Which he didn't, but.
Yes, he did. It could have been the same guy. Maybe he's homeless still. I don't know. Yeah, no, it's amazing that our founding took place out in Pennsylvania. And now look at the shambles and cities are in. So, yeah.
Well, because all the people that discovered it wasn't really a city of brotherly love escaped to the Midwest.
That's right. They went for freedom. Still lives.
And in 67, they had the Summer of Love in California, but then they all bailed as California became even less of a state of love. But there we are. 827, Clay Peterson Guns, the 701. More coming up.
K-Fire 550.
I've never heard anything like this between any heads of state in the Oval Office.
You're gambling with World War III.
Have you said thank you once? Many of you have been sold that Ukraine was going to win, Vladimir Putin getting removed from power. Disabuse yourselves of that notion.
Clay Travis and Buck Sexton get around the table.
I hope it's gonna be alright.
Talks continue. Clay and Buck, weekday mornings at 11 on K-Fire.
It's Mitchell in the morning. K-Fire 550.
A trade tariff perspective from the other side of the border, and some farmers in North Dakota watching something on the other side of a closer southern border. Todd Mitchell pinch hitting on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
Explore the mysteries of rural America in the investigative podcast Obscurum. Season 1, Invasion of the Drones, details the story of chilling aircraft sightings in the Midwest, sparking conspiracy theories and lies until the shocking truth was revealed.
There was a drone, then it actually rotated around our house, almost looking as if it was peering in each window of our home.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Obscurum and start listening.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But this one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much money in refunds the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now, here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. Oh, one last number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
K-Fire.
As farmers in North Dakota watch developments in carbon pipeline legislation, South Dakota Governor Larry Roden has signed a bill into law prohibiting carbon pipelines from using eminent domain. House Bill 1052 there specifically targets Summit Carbon Solutions Midwest Carbon Express pipeline, the $8 billion project spanning 5 states, looking to store CO2 underground in North Dakota. In his letter, Roden emphasized his longstanding commitment to private property rights, noting his history of advocating for landowners. He said that while the ethanol industry remains vital to South Dakota's economy, it should not come at the expense of others' freedoms. Summit Carbon Solutions expressed disappointment, citing regulatory uncertainty and competitive disadvantages for South Dakota's ethanol plants. The American Carbon Alliance also criticized the bill, arguing it hinders economic growth and new market opportunities for low-carbon biofuels. Roden encouraged Summit to rebuild trust with landowners and pursue voluntary easements, viewing the legislation as an opportunity for a reset rather than an obstacle. One North Dakota plant reacting with cutbacks, nearly 200 people being laid off from the Case New Holland plant in Fargo. The company citing current and anticipated market conditions for their decision. And yesterday, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum thanked U.S. President Donald Trump for an excellent, respectful call, during which they discussed security and migration. After the call, President Trump announced that Mexico would not have to pay tariffs on goods under the USMCA trade deal until April 2nd, when reciprocal tariffs for all countries would be implemented. Sheinbaum stated that most Mexican imports to the U.S. comply with the trade deal, and that both countries would work together to curb the flow of fentanyl from Mexico to the U.S. and guns from the U.S. to Mexico. She praised the collaboration between the two nations, emphasizing respect for their sovereignties. Sheinbaum mentioned that a planned rally in Mexico City's Zocalo Square would instead now be a festival in light of the positive developments. Todd Mitchell pinch hitting on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
K-Fire, your ag authority.
If you're looking...
Explore the mysteries of rural America in the investigative podcast Obscurum. Season 1, Invasion of the Drones, details the story of chilling aircraft sightings in the Midwest, sparking conspiracy theories and lies until the shocking truth was revealed.
There was a drone, then it actually rotated around our house, almost looking as if it was peering in each window of our home.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Obscurum and start listening.
I know you didn't ask for my opinion, but...
But what? Sounds like it's time for a satisfying snack break. Hit the spot with a spoonful of Skippy peanut butter.
Go to your Skippy place.
Lexus invites you to experience the power of choice. From hybrid to plug-in hybrid to all-electric. Whichever Lexus electrified model you choose, it will undoubtedly feel
amazing.
Get offers on select models at the Invitation to Lexus sales event, now through March 31st. Click the banner to discover more. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
They said that building an outdoor kitchen bigger than your indoor kitchen would be crazy. But when you consider all the possibilities of a TrueStone Financial home equity loan with an APR as low as 5.74% and for a limited time, no closing costs, well, the sizzling burgers on that built-in grill, they say otherwise. A TrueStone home equity loan is flexible financing for just about everything, even outdoor kitchens. It's true, because we're TrueStone. Get cooking at truestone.org. Terms and conditions apply. Closing cost offer not valid with competing offers or promotions. Equal housing opportunity.
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers are into, true crime, sports, comedy, culture, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. And all this reach means everything. Just think about the universal marketing formula. The number of consumers who hear your message times the response rate equals the results. Now let's get those results growing for you. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com. Or call 844-844-iHeart. One more time. Call 844-844-iHeart and get podcasting working for you.
Fire.
Fox News. News. I'm Chris Foster. The monthly jobs reports released by the Labor Department showing slightly more jobs created than in January.
We have 151,000 jobs added in February, unemployment at 4.1%. Average hourly earnings rose by 10 cents or 0.3%, $35.93. That number year over year, 4% growth.
Fox Business correspondent Loden Simonetti. Canada is keeping its initial retaliatory tariffs on American imports in place, despite President Trump postponing tariffs on many Canadian and Mexican imports for a month.
I wanted to help the American car makers until April 2nd. April 2nd, it becomes all reciprocal. What they charge us, we charge them. It's a big deal.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says starting Monday, the province will charge 25% more for electricity shipped to Minnesota, New York, and Michigan. America's listening to Fox News.
And now from North Dakota's News Authority, Todd Mitchell, K-Fire Radio News.
Mainly dry, a warming trend starting today into early next week. A cool down by midweek, though. For Bismarck, AccuWeather calling for sunshine, breezy, 48. Cloud cover coming back tonight, 27. Mix of sun and clouds, breezy, 57 tomorrow. Sunday, sunshine, 61. Monday, 70. Tuesday, 41. North Dakota state lawmakers considering a House bill that, if enacted, would clear the way for medical cannabis to be sold in edible form to registered patients and caregivers. Officials say House Bill 1203 recently passed 67 to 25. Proponents of the measure say edible marijuana products are widely considered a healthier option than smoking the plant's leaves. They add the bill would enable manufacturers and vendors to control THC dosage levels in THC-infused products. THC-infused products are hailed by many as natural and effective pain relievers and serve as a safe option to over-the-counter medications. A man charged with murder in a fatal shooting last May in Stanley changed his plea yesterday. Malcolm Myers entered an Alford plea to the charge, meaning he maintains his innocence but admits there's sufficient evidence for a jury to return a guilty verdict or the case to go to trial. Investigators say Myers told them he had taken drugs and shot his friend. When authorities went to the house, they found the victim deceased with multiple gunshot wounds. The judge ordered a pre-sentence investigation. Myers remains in custody. Will be sentenced July 24th. Mandan police looking for your help in finding a missing man. Austin Engert has been missing since February 27th. The 27-year-old last seen wearing a dark green sweatshirt, black sweatpants, and white Nike sneakers. If you have any information, you ask to contact Mandan Police. The West Fargo man sentenced to life in prison for beating his wife to death, appealing his conviction. Spencer Moan, convicted last fall in the killing of Sonia Moan. According to the state's appellate case system, his brief is due by May 9th, which is subject to change. State attorneys indicate they anticipated that appeal. And a man's lucky to be alive after he climbed into a Grand Forks dumpster this week and got taken out with the trash. Police say the man found himself in trouble after the dumpster near 312 Kitson Avenue downtown was emptied into a garbage truck on its way to the landfill. The man found yesterday morning by landfill workers. Apart from a sore arm, he somehow survived the ordeal. No charges were announced. Enjoy the warm-up for the weekend through Monday. We do level off after that, but should still be above normal. Your K-Fire AccuWeather forecast is on the way.
March 22nd, it's going down.
Explore the mysteries of rural America in the investigative podcast Obscurum. Season 1, Invasion of the Drones, details the story of chilling aircraft sightings in the Midwest, sparking conspiracy theories and lies until the shocking truth was revealed.
There was a drone, then it actually rotated around our house, almost looking as if it was peering in each window of our home.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Obscurum and start listening.
Open a smart checking account at Royal Credit Union to get no monthly fees, no minimum balance, and a $250 bonus. See details at rcu.org/checking bonus. No minimum balance required to obtain bonus. Offer ends 5/31/25. Insured by NCUA.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go feel like a breeze in the new Ford Explorer. Make tough tasks look easy with the powerful performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America for 48 years. Or take your adventures in the great outdoors to a whole new level with our Built Wild family of Ford Broncos. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting for you at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait, get behind the wheel of a new Ford today, based on calendar year total sales.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So, let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Mostly sunny, breezy, mild day. High today 48. Cloudy tonight with a low 27. Intervals of clouds and sun. Breezy, mild day tomorrow. High at 57. Sunshine and a few clouds. A breezy, warm day on Sunday with a high 61. Monday, clouds and sunshine. Windy. High Monday afternoon reaching 70. For weather anytime, check out AccuWeather.com. Download the free app today. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Steve Williams.
8:38:17 in Bismarck and Cape Fire Guns in the 701. More coming up. Dakota Mornings with Michael Bell after 9.
Have you found your new favorite feature on the iHeartRadio app yet?
Presets and lyrics.
This is so good.
I've been telling all my friends. Wait, you guys aren't using this yet?
You're missing out. Get in on what everyone's talking about and get the new and improved free iHeartRadio app today.
iHeartRadio.
All the good stuff. Yeah. Camps keeps you on top of pop culture.
While sales of vinyl records have been on the rise, it's not the case for record players. A new study by Illuminate reveals that, among the 3,900 respondents, only half of consumers who purchased vinyl within the past year actually have a turntable to play it on, compared with 15% of overall music consumers. So what gives? While some are buying vinyl as gifts or to play at others' homes, collectors and artist superfans seem to be driving the vinyl resurgence. The superfan contingent is especially strong as the top-selling vinyl records in 2022 belong to Taylor Swift, Harry Styles, and Olivia Rodrigo. But while vinyl is on the upswing, with the format topping CD sales in 2022 for the first time since 1987, digital and streaming music still rules the roost, accounting for 84% of all music revenue in 2022.
All right.
And that's what's poppin' on Camps on iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. This spring, you can share your own observations about nature with scientists and play a critical role in scientific discovery by adding to their data collection. Discover more about citizen science programs such as monitoring weather, observing plants and animals, and more. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
I'm Gary Veter, and I have a new limited series podcast called Number One Dad. In the 90s, my dad and I ran a con for years where we snuck into the world's most prestigious arena, New York's Madison Square Garden.
Your dad is the type of person that likes an adventure and likes the possibility of opportunity.
As I got older, I learned this wasn't the only scheme my dad was pulling.
He wants me to act like my injury is even worse for a payout.
He actually represented me. He's posing as my attorney in a court.
There were moments where Manny would assume the role of undercover police officer.
My father's never-ending string of lies ultimately broke apart my family. And at 15 years old, I completely cut him out of my life. That was 24 years ago. But I just had a son of my own, and it brought back tons of memories of my childhood, along with tons of questions I wanted answered. How did my father become this scheming mastermind? Was he like this with everyone? And is it possible, after all these years, he's actually changed? I have no idea where he lives or what he's up to, but my goal with this podcast is to track him down and get to the truth about who my father, Manny Veter, really is. This is Number One Dad. Listen to Number One Dad.
Listen on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and listen now.
8:42 and K-Fired Guns in the 701. Clay Peterson's here with me. And what Supreme Court justices said about Mexico's lawsuit. Now, is what they said on the record or off the record? Because I think a few of them off the record may be saying something else that we can't say on the radio. But
I think you're right. But it's just, you know what? It's absurd that Mexico thinks they have any standing in our country anyway. They got no rights here at all. And this case they brought's been dismissed once. And of course, you have a rogue judge that comes out that's a Biden nominee, by the way, or appointment. And to the actual appellate court there, they went and found a friendly court to get them to overturn it, which now threw it in the Supreme Court. But they want to sue Smith & Wesson. Everything else was dismissed, but they kept Smith & Wesson on this because of the state that they're actually located in. The NRA actually filed an amicus brief, which was great, and said, Mexico has extinguished its constitutional arms right and now seeks to extinguish America's, meaning, yeah, that's true. They've taken away the guns in Mexico, except for the cartels, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you have a gun in your hand, it has to be 4 of you in the back of a pickup, and you're each pointing a different direction.
Yeah.
So,
well, and they're trying to say that and we've talked about this before, the Protection of Lawful Commerce and Arms Act, the PLCAA. Well, that was passed in 2005. We worked on that extensively back when I was still involved, and that was a great thing that it basically protected gun manufacturers in the United States from frivolous lawsuits like this. And that came after all of the tobacco settlements. Remember, they went after the tobacco companies, and that same group of lawyers started going after gun companies. And, well, rather than making the gun companies spend millions and millions and millions of dollars, which they didn't need to in a frivolous lawsuit, Congress actually did the right thing and passed the PLCAA. Well, now this is in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's going to have to decide, is it going to uphold that act, really, because that's what's on trial here? Or are they going to say, yep, a foreign country has the right to come in and sue our manufacturers for problems in their country that they don't address? That's what this comes down to. They're trying to say that it's the United States and the gun manufacturers, it's their fault because the cartels and everybody get guns illegally down there and kill their people. I mean, that's what it comes out to. It's the dumbest case I think I've ever seen. I like what Kavanaugh said. He goes, well, he asked Catherine Stetson, who is the lawyer for the Mexican government, he just basically asked her if sellers and manufacturers of ordinary products know that they're going to be misused by, some people, and they know this certainly, and you got to go after pharmaceuticals, cars, you name it, because a lot of products in this country that are sold, we all know people are going to abuse. So are we going to then say, all right, it's open season, let's sue every company? That's like,
the GM going to get sued because somebody drives into a tree, or come on.
Right. Someone takes a car and runs it through a crowd of people and commits, murder, another crime that they didn't care about. We're going to sue if it was a Dodge. You're going to sue Dodge? Or how about we sue Budweiser because somebody consumed an alcoholic beverage and went out and started driving drunk, and let's name Budweiser and the car company. I think it's interesting that even the what I would call the liberal justice, which is Justice Kajan Brown Jackson, she doesn't have 3 names because she don't know what she is anyway. She expressed concern that Mexico is seeking relief that went beyond the power of the U.S. courts. And she's right on this. And she said all of the things that you asked for in this lawsuit, such as a firearm industry distribution and marketing practice, would amount to different kinds of regulatory constraints that I'm thinking Congress didn't want in the courts to be the ones to impose. And she's right. For once, she might even be onto something. She wouldn't come out and say she wanted to defend the lawful commerce and legal actions of producing firearms, but she actually is thinking, wait a second, this could lead to way more. It could have horrible consequences across the broad spectrum for United States manufacturing. That's basically, I think, her mindset. But it's nice to see that we actually have justices that might be. I could actually see this when the decision comes down in June. This might actually be a unanimous decision. I really think it could happen. So we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted on it because this is an important, people don't understand, this is a very important case because this could set the narrative one way or other and essentially undermine the entire Second Amendment if it goes wrong. But I don't think it's going to. I really don't. I think we'll have 5-4 at the minimum, but I think you might see all 9 justices rule against Mexico, as they should. They don't have any standing here. It's absolutely absurd, in my opinion.
Wonder if they're having a conversation on a Mexican radio station right now going, hey, it's not our fault about the fentanyl. Don't blame us. But
don't blame us. It's the United States' fault.
Except it would be in Spanish, not English. But you get 848 and K-Fire Clay Guns in the 701. And down there in Georgia should have had a gun with you, I guess, huh?
The guy that, unfortunately he was tragically killed in this should have. But It's another example, though, why somebody with one, or you should have been carrying one, should exist. And this happened in Atlanta. The guy owned a tire shop, JMR, new and used tires. Been there for about 10 years, it sounded like. Now, think about it. This guy who was the owner, he was trying to help out a guy, right? The victim here is the owner. His name was Maurice Davis, and it's too bad that he's the guy that basically died and shouldn't have. And he tried to help out Roderick Hunter. This guy, after you go look at him, he was a felon, okay? He'd had some trouble. He'd been in jail. He'd gotten out. And Davis decided, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a chance and put him to work, right? And that's a noble thing, really. A lot of people who go in aren't all bad. They did something stupid, right? They get out, and people willing to give them some help and get them back on their feet, that's a good thing. Well, unfortunately, there was an argument between the two. The guy returned and essentially shot Maurice Davis. He was dead at the scene. And Davis's son, though, he saw the whole thing that was unfolding outside of the shop. He went in and retrieved a firearm, and he shot Roderick Hunter. And by the time they got him to the hospital, he did assume room temperature. And basically, we have a happy ending because the perpetrator, who was given every chance in the world to make a new start, his anger got to him, and he went ahead and killed the guy that actually tried to help him out, that's a sad story about this. So I'm glad that the son is, I did a little more looking into this. He's doing pretty good. He kept the shop open. He'd been working with his dad, and then said that he will continue in community service and try to help wherever he can and keep the shop going. So I guess, it's a good example as to you never know when you're going to need to defend yourself. And according to Georgia law, being the guy was a felon, and the type of felony was, you were completely justified if they committed a violent act into self-defense. So it doesn't sound like any charges are going to be made, but as with anything, and I think we've stressed this before, if you're in that situation and you defend yourself and you fatally take out a perpetrator, it's still going to be investigated as a homicide. That's the procedure. I'm sure that's no different in North Dakota as it is in Georgia, as it is in South Dakota or any state. And then they will decide whether charges come up against you. And 9 times out of 10, they probably won't unless you're in a commie state like California.
And this is why you want to have a gun. Defense.
You never want to use it, but you want to have it.
Because you got to be able to ask anybody who's, trying to get a war going or something. You got to have better weaponry than your opponent, or you're just asking for your butt to be kicked, right?
Yeah, just asking for trouble, right? You're looking to be defeated. Yeah, you don't.
I say it like I've planned wars before, but I play one on the radio every now and then.
And then stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. Remember those commercials?
I stayed in a tent I pitched outside a Holiday Inn Express because I wanted to blend in with the rest of the people. I couldn't afford to. Guys, the 701 Clay, and what's coming up in March later on?
March 29th. We got the Open Sight or Iron Sight Open Steel Challenge, and we want everybody to show up if they want to. Get a hold of us at gunsandthe701.com or gunsandthe701.com to get your details. It starts at 11 o'clock Central, holding it out there at Lauer Auto Repairs Range, just on the west side of Mandan. So we'll get you directions and come out and have a great time with us.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Clay. Always a pleasure on these Fridays.
Thank you, Todd. And, hey, don't forget, tune in to iHeart. Catch everything right here on KFYR and Guns on the 701.
Amen, brother. All right, I'll work on cutting the bracelet off so I can be there. Take care. 8:53, just a few birthdays to pass along, and an anniversary.
Located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Give them a call at 701-258-6308.
The team of mechanics at Lauer Auto can take care of any problem your vehicle is having. And when you do business with Lauer, you can be assured you're doing business with a pro Second Amendment America First repair shop. There are plenty of other auto repair shops in the Bismarck-Mandan area. But why take a chance at patronizing a shop that might not have your beliefs at heart? Make no mistake. Lauer Auto is your pro Second Amendment repair shop. When you talk to the guys at Lauer Auto, don't forget to tell them that you heard they are a sponsor of Guns and the 701 and that you appreciate their support of our pro Second Amendment, pro North Dakota live stream and podcast. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 701-258-6308.
701-258-6308.
Located 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota.
Experience the exhilaration of power in your hands at Bloodline Kinetics. Why Cerakote? Simply, it aids in firearm preservation while also giving your piece a unique look. Barrel threading, NFA laser engraving, bolt handle threading, mount, level, and bore, sight scope chamber rebarreling, and much more. Bloodline Kinetics is meant to reflect a long American lineage in gun ownership, who stand for the Second Amendment rights, Bloodline, and the science behind gun accuracy. Kinetics. To some, it's just a constitutional right that can go away. To us, it's in our American bloodline, and we believe it should stay that way. Here at Bloodline Kinetics, we understand that hunters, sportsmen, women, and gun owners should have a quality firearm. Stop and see us at 2008 Morrison Avenue 2 in Bismarck, North Dakota, 58504, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call 701-390-7997. Visit our website, bloodlinekinetics.com.
Ever tried catching a fish with your bare hands or hunting a deer with a stick? Don't be that guy. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we've got all the hunting and camping gear you need. We're your one-stop shop for outdoor adventure.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Check us out at mandansportinggoods.com, or better yet, stop in to 210 East Main Street, Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan Sporting Goods, where the outdoors meets functionality. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday. Take up arms at Mandan Sporting Goods. Your adventure starts here.
Looking for the best gun gear for every and any situation? Little Angry Man Arms LLC has you covered. Top-notch guns from top-name brands like Winchester, Glock, Sig Sauer, and Ruger to essential extras from Magpul, Streamlight, Hollow, Sun Optics, and more. Little Angry Man Arms LLC have everything to make your shooting adventures a success. Visit littleangrymanarms.com today and gear up for your next big hunt, competition, or home defense. Don't miss out on our exclusive deals. Little Angry Man Arms LLC, based in Trail City, South Dakota, your ultimate hunting partner.
At Horton Laser Craft, we believe in the power of personalization. Whether it's a cherished memory, a special occasion, or a unique gift, our custom laser engraving brings your vision to life. Our expert craftsmen and state-of-the-art technology ensure every piece is a work of art. From personalized decor to one-of-a-kind keepsakes, Horton Lasercraft makes every moment unforgettable. Horton Lasercraft is owned and operated by a local veteran and his wife located near Thunderhawk, South Dakota. They provide custom laser products at a reasonable price, and their turnaround time is fast and efficient.
Custom board cutting, glassware, decanter sets, mugs, assorted stainless steel jewelry, assorted tags, decor, custom acrylic nightlights, and much, much more.
Call them up at 605-545-7535. Horton Lasercraft, where memories are engraved.